Listen, this may sound a little bit crazy, but I know who the God's Hand Killer is.
Who? Is that true?
Why would I make it up?
This movie is about faith, family, and the loss of innocence.
It goes back to a lot of very basic ideas that people have had for centuries.
I mean, really what Frailty is, to a large degree, is the Old Testament. It's the Old Testament God. It's,
Weird. It was totally weird to me. I didn't get none of it.
Yeah, but it's a gothic horror picture, and everyone loves to be scared. Yeah, okay, so it's got that flavor to it as well. That's where sort of the fun comes.
Son, come over here. Come on, I need your help. I did really like the title, Frailty. It just one-word title, you know, like Notorious or Vertigo, Psycho, Frailty.
it's about God coming to a man and giving him a vision, sending an angel to him and gives him a vision, tells him that it's his and his family's job to destroy demons for God.
The end of the world is coming. It's near. The angel showed me. There are demons among us. The devil has released them for the final battle.
And so we don't know which is which. Is it true? Is it not true? Is Dad insane? Is he not insane? Did God really come to him? Is he delusional?
And I love this familial thing to it, the father and these two boys, but I was terrified to take on the role of the father. I thought, wait a minute, who's going to direct me in this thing?
He said, I'm thinking that it would really take the right kind of director to do this film. And I said, you know, absolutely. He said, someone that understands the character, someone that understands really how far to go and how far not to go, and what is subtle. And I said, oh, I agree with you 100%. He said, nah, I'd like to be that director. I think that I could do that. And I wasn't prepared for that. I just started shaking my head, but inside I'm saying, oh shit.
We gotta be a little more realistically how we schedule this. I am truly indebted to him for giving me this opportunity to direct. And if there's one person who really put me in the driver's seat to direct my first motion picture, that has to be David Kirshner.
It's very exciting.
This picture, Frailty, really did connect all the dots for me. The great characters in the story. This story set in rural East Texas. I love the supernatural aspects of the movie. I love the gothic aspects of the movie.
I would say Frailty was inspired mostly by growing up in kind of the buckle of the Bible Belt. And while the preacher was out there preaching about Jesus, I mean, we were back there flipping to the back of the Bible, reading Revelations and, you know, all the dark things that God was going to do to us, that kind of thing. So that's where Frailty, I think, originated. That and reading like tons of Stephen King when I was a kid.
I kept Brent involved the whole time. You know, a lot of times the writer's job's kind of finished when the film goes into production. And I wanted to destroy him. And I wished for devils to cut his head off, and they did. But more gods kept springing up and fighting the devils. Oh, my God.
You the agent in charge of the God's Hand case?
Bill put this group of Texans together to make the film. He put Powers, Booth, and Matthew McConaughey. He brought me to the picture.
I brought Powers Booth in, you know, obviously him and Matthew have all their scenes together. And I knew these two Texas actors, and here's a young leading man actor who's coming up, who's done some great films, Matthew, and here's this old seasoned pro. Those guys play off each other really well in the film. They do some great work. They really both. It's like watching a great tennis match.
Why don't we get back to your story? What makes you think that your brother's a God's Hand Killer?
I know it was him.
How do you know?
Bill's background as an actor really empowered him as a director in this picture. It allowed him to work with Matthew and Powers in a way that they really trusted him, and they really found the tone and the pace of this thing in a quick way. And I think they really pulled it together in a way that only Texans working together could have.
Let's go.
And cut. These are my boys. My boys.
This is my dad.
Come see our new movie. It's scary. The most crucial part of the casting of this picture were the two boys to play young Fenton and young Adam.
Fenton and Adam are like best friends with a family relationship.
I remember when Matt O'Leary came in. He came in and he just charmed the pants off of everybody. And I tell you, I knew right away I had something.
Fenton likes his father a lot. He knows that his father's doing wrong, but, you know, he's trying to help him out of it. Say, well, what if we do this? Or how's this? Can we make our family come back together and work? Maybe you're not right in the head.
It happened, Fenton. It's true. He has to carry the cross in this movie. He's the anchor of this film. He is the quarterback of this cast. Without a great portrayal by him, this movie falls flat.
My favorite scene of the movie is is my first scene when I'm singing "Joy, Joy" in my heart. That was my favorite scene.
Jeremy Sumpter is this kid who plays Adam. He does a terrific job in the film as well. He became my go-to guy. He's the only comedy relief in this movie. Isn't Travis Shedd that boy was picking on you at school last week?
He's a demon.
On the set, this kid was a ball of energy. This kid had more energy than the rest of the crew. If I could use him somewhere downstream as a crew member, I would do it in a heartbeat. This guy had more energy than the rest of us all combined.
Adam! Fenton! Up and at 'em, boys! Morning, kiddo. Hey, come on, lazy bones. It's late. We overslept. Well, let's go. Snap to it and get dressed. I gotta get to work. Drop you guys off on the way. And cut. Very nice, very nice. Okay. I knew that there were scenes where I was really going to have to expose myself, and that's always a little scary. That's another reason why I wanted to direct myself. I felt like I could go into myself and really show that vulnerability. Do you understand what you made me do? You made me commit murder.
I didn't make you do anything. You did. You're crazy.
Dad!
Dad, no! Dad, don't!
One of the greatest roles I ever got to play was Dad. And I love the idea that you never know his name through the whole movie. It's just Dad.
He had to become the paternal figure, and he had to rule the roost with the kids.
We worked hard, but we played hard too. And you know, at times I'd get exasperated because they'd not be taking a scene seriously, or they kept cutting up. And I kept my composure for the most part, but there were days that really tested me on a lot of levels. Cynthia Harbridge?
Yes?
This movie has got scares in it. It's got, you know, it's got suspense. But the movie overall, I think, has a haunted feeling.
The great thing about this project was that it allowed Bill Paxton to bring his visual sense and style and his aesthetics and put them all to film. He has a real visual perception of the world, and it is a gothic kind of creepy place, and he enjoys that. He likes getting into that world, and he likes taking you there.
I knew I needed an artist to help me visualize this movie. Enter David Ivey. David Ivey's work really reflects this kind of beauty, but it's a haunted beauty, and that's really what I wanted to go for. I knew this guy was a kindred spirit in terms of kind of a Gothic sensibility. I would do some of the rough drawings, and then David would really do a more of a finished drawing. One sequence in particular is when we go back to '79. If you look at the storyboards and you look at the final film, it's literally shot for shot.
And if the devil doesn't like you, he can sit on a tack. Ouch. Sit on a tack. Ouch. Sit on a tack. And if the devil doesn't like you, he can sit on a Tuesday.
Who was that chick that who threw up?
Oh, that was Katie Hagen. She is sure pretty, though.
That was real nasty, though.
Oh, yeah.
All over the floor and when
Fenton Mix, this is the FBI. We're coming in.
So the first day of shooting is the FBI storming this little house in the middle of Texas, our West Covina backlot.
Go, go, go!
And Bill's on top of the world.
You have got to climb up into this thing's face from the first day and just start beating it in the head. I mean, just beating it in the face.
Well, I always referred to Bill as a Swiss Army knife. His purpose is the main function of the knife, and yet with this knife comes 14 other things that he does.
I knew it was a very tall challenge in terms of the timing. We had a 36 or 7 day shooting schedule. We were up in Malibu Canyon at night. We were down in Orange. We were at Sylmar. We were over at the Huntington Gardens in Pasadena. We were down in downtown LA. It was a pretty tall order. I've never seen a crew more excited about the number of setups they were getting a day. We were like this well-oiled, you know, military machine.
This is the Bill Paxton Circus, and I guess I'm part of the three rings, you know, and I'm in the center of it looking at him and saying, oh my God, man, he's really got it under control here. And when all's said and done, I think he had a really good time.
Yeah, buddy, yeah. I'm really proud of the way this film looks, and I owe all of that to Bill Butler.
What you really want to do is contest ideas. Some are good, some are bad, some have to be thrown out, but you have to put out a lot of ideas to find one or two good ones that you want to go with.
I got it. There's a very interesting sequence in the film that Bill set up. And what you have is you have Matthew getting in the car with Powers Booth, and all the while the storm is raging outside, cars are zooming by, lights are moving across faces.
All of that was done on a stage. That car never moved an inch. It's all done with lights going by and rain and effects and wind. And there's Bill Butler. And it's like watching Zubin Mehta. You know, the conducting, the lighting, like a maestro conducting an orchestra. And he's moving, and then he's cueing him. And he kind of counts out a beat, and then he signals this man. And there must be 25 guys doing different things with lighting.
What is it you think I'm hiding?
Well, why don't you just keep talking? Maybe I'll figure that out.
You know, the artifice of the motion picture gives the craftsman that license to bend the reality a little bit. And I mean, this guy is a film animal. He loves a problem. He's a problem-solving mofo, and an artist too.
High five, man. Are you kidding, man?
A movie you're at war, and every day's a battle, and this film would not be what it is without Arnold Glassman.
I think the first thing we noticed, among other things, is that we had a common language related to our love of film.
Arnold Glassman, ACE, and I have known each other, God, I don't even want to say how long. I met Arnie years ago when I was a student at NYU.
Bill handled himself beautifully in the editing room in dealing with a film in which he was both in front of and behind the camera. I think very objectively, he was as objective about his own performance as he was about everyone else's.
I'm pretty ruthless with myself and everybody else. I mean, we all serve the movie, and so If it wasn't shipping the freight in this movie, it got cut.
The scene with the sheriff sitting in the kitchen was the one scene where Bill really had the most specific instructions for me to accent a specific aspect of his performance in that scene, which was to show him clearly nervous and wary of the sheriff's presence in the room.
Makes me cringe to think that he told everyone down at your office, too.
Now, you can set your mind at ease about that. I was the only one there. Of course, I don't believe a word of it. What does get me, though, is why would he make up such a crazy story?
As the editor, it was very valuable to me to have that kind of direction from this one person who was both the director and the actor in that particular scene.
Want to hurt you, you're so good. Want to hurt you.
My treatment of this story has always been, how would an old Hollywood studio handle this kind of material? They would have handled it, obviously, in a Robert Aldrich, Alfred Hitchcock way.
The Edward March abduction is a very Hitchcockian moment in the film. We see it through Fenton's eyes, and we react to it the way Fenton is reacting to it. We are hoping that Edward March will not walk out of the store. We're hoping that this whole horrible event will not take place.
There he is, boys. Come on, Fenton.
Dad, I can't.
Yes, you can. Now move. Do what I tell you.
We were so inspired and so influenced by Hitchcock that I think, that really helped. I mean, a lot of the ideas that Bill came up with were kind of coming from that place, and they all made sense. Like, everything he added to it, I love.
The main one being Otis. It is kind of a character in the film because, again, it's an heirloom that's passed down, a sacred, iconic, talisman. And Otis is featured in the movie quite a bit.
There is no one thing that you could say Frailty is about. At least I can't. I mean, there'll be several people who probably will, but I can't do that. I wouldn't do that.
This is a very dark film. The ideas are dark. The area of the mind that it's working in is dark.
If God were to come to you today and tell you that he wanted you to kill in his name, could you do it?
It's a thriller. It's got incredible suspense because you invest so much in this young adolescent boy.
You want people to go back and go, wait a minute, I gotta go back and see the beginning of that again, the middle of that again.
You should leave the theater feeling that no one is safe, that the person next to you may be a demon.
Yeah, I think when people walk out of this movie, you're kind of looking at the guy across the way there and you're wondering, if I touched him, what would I see?